Okay, we have everybody here, so I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is 4:01, and I'd like to call the Town of Hadley Capital Planning Committee meeting to order of Tuesday, April 7th. And this is probably going to be our one and only meeting of the year. We have a pretty lean capital request, and most of it's a repetition of what was at the fall town meeting, other than one article from the DPW. And I guess I'd like to open like we usually do by turning it over to Linda just to go over a little bit on the financing side, or did you want to wait till the end to do that, Linda? It's your choice.
Paul, I'm having a freezing thing happening on my screens right now. Let's I
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, but but I can't. Okay, look, my mouse is frozen. Okay, so I can't see any of you because something's up in front. So I'll just talk. I think we have two categories of we have borrowing articles, and then we have water reserves, and that is it. Um, if you, Paul, did you get a chance? Did you send them out the draft article?
All the members have the agenda
Okay,
with the individual items. And what I
with the
was thinking,
items on it. Okay,
yes,
okay. So, well, Scott's here to talk about the borrowing articles. I think these are all the same that we saw. There was
Linda,
one. Yep.
Linda, I was
Yep.
wondering though, since the school department only has one article, if
Yep.
Scott wouldn't mind deferring and let
Yep.
Dr.
Why don't we
McKenzie go
just let them go
first.
ahead while I try and figure out, Paul, what's going on with my screen. I'm just not there. Okay, it loosened up.
Sure.
Yeah. Is someone
So,
here for this? I guess Chris is, or Annie.
so Andy,
Yep,
if you
I'm
want to
here.
go ahead, and then when you're through, you're free to exit the meeting if you
Sure.
want.
Sure. So it's slightly different. And Chris Pip is here also. She can certainly speak to anything that happened at school committee. If you don't mind, I'll share my screen. It's easy. Can everyone see that? Well, probably it's a bit of a mess. Maybe I
Well,
should make
it looks
that
good,
bigger.
Annie.
Okay, you can see it. Good. Thank you. So the current recommendations that you have in front of you equaling about $350,000 were blue lights. So blue lights are the lights that go off. I'll just make this brief in case people don't know, to indicate to the community, and public safety had asked us to look into this, to indicate to the community that they should not approach the building during an emergency. A security vestibule, excuse me, this would be at Hopkins Academy. The security vestibule would make it so that when somebody enters the building, they are similar to more like Hadley Elementary, that you're between sets of double doors. Your first entrance into the building doesn't give you free reign into the building. That's what a security vestibule is. Sometimes they're referred to as man traps. And then blinds, we talked about this before. The blinds at Hopkins Academy are original to Hopkins Academy. I mean, that's really how old they are. So they're in pretty rough shape. And the reason that they're important and listed under security is that every time that we do a shelter in place or a lockdown drill, active shooter drill, the expectation is that every employee and students who are old enough and able barricade doors, draw the blinds. And this is just what we're expected to do. In some of our classrooms in Hopkins, they can't drop the blinds. They do try to put something in front of, they've cut out cardboard or things they can try to put in front of the window during a drill, but it is something we'd like replaced. We do recognize the town is has a lot of financial pressure on it right now. And so we talked at school committee on March 23rd, and we'd like to revise what we'd be presenting at annual town meeting and just reduce that to the blinds. And we also, because parents are very interested in this, and we are as well, we're interested in purchasing bus stop arm cameras. Public safety is also interested in this. So people who pass school buses that have the stop arm down, these cameras would allow police to have a photograph of the offender, of the moving violation. So instead of the $350,000, this would total closer to 140, about $137,000. Now, Linda may say, well, if we're talking that, we want to re-examine whether or not this is borrowing or something else. I don't have any opinion on that, but just wanted to say we'd like to amend the capital requests, really focus on those blinds. That is pretty important. And bus stop arm cameras. Now, we may ask to meet with the capital committee in the fall and revisit some other items, but we just would like to focus on blinds and bus stop security, bus stop arm cameras right now. And I'm happy to answer any questions. And as I said, Chris Pip is here, and she was clearly at the school committee meeting when we discussed this.
So Annie, you're removing the security vestibule from the,
Yes, so this is something that we may look to do in the future. And it's not something that we're saying, oh, we don't ever want this. We do think it's important, but there's a couple of things. I mean, one, we have received the sub bids on the locker room, and the general contracting bids will open next week. Our primary focus is hoping against all hope that stays within budget. So we have that construction project coming up, and we're a little worried that construction projects like the security vestibule, which is a pretty decent renovation project, that these things are going to be more expensive right now than they normally would be. So that also factored into our decision making.
okay, and I
You
know,
did-
you know,
you
I
don't
could add
think-
up those figures, but what did you get for a total again, the revised total?
137. I'm sorry, this isn't as clear because it's the blinds and the bus stop. So I think I have 137,083 for the blinds and the bus stop arm cameras.
Okay, so that's all that you're asking for right now.
Yes. You can see security vestibule and blue lights, perhaps special town meeting or to be determined. So if that timing didn't work.
Okay, then that helps. So those bus stop arms, is that similar to what we have all been hearing on the news, like Chicopee just installed?
Yes, and so Chris did a really great job of tracking down some quotes for that. And we talked to our transportation contracting company. We talked with Five Star. They are piloting, I don't know where they're piloting some right now. So we would want to use whatever they end up using. They are going to want to have the same thing on every piece of equipment they have, especially if we need a sub piece of equipment. But I imagine Chicopee is. I can't say for sure. This is increasingly become a problem. You probably recall last year, a vehicle passing a bus in Hadley made the news because it was so dangerous, and it happens all the time. People, I don't know, they're distracted, they're just not paying attention, and they go flying past buses all the time. So the
Right,
cameras
okay.
would allow the photo, then the police know exactly the plate they're looking for, and they have the offender. I guess it's similar to what you'd see on a red light catching somebody.
Yeah, I think in Chicopee, even they're saying that something about sending the citation out automatically, but
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a local decision, if HPD would make that determination. We certainly wouldn't cite vehicles, but we'd like to have a better way of what happens now is parents witness it. And it's nerve-wracking and frustrating, even not just parents, just passerby if they see somebody fly past a school bus. And so they call our office and say, I saw this morning, and did the bus driver catch the person? Well, of course, the bus driver is paying attention to ensuring the students get on and off the bus safely. And sometimes they can see that, but that's really not where their attention is, taking down license plates.
okay, that's great. And now, how about the blue lights too? Are we going to see those back again in the fall?
Potentially. Right now, I'm really grateful that public safety is trying to work on a less expensive, I want to say almost, what do I want to say, homemade. They're working on an option to see if they can create something that would accomplish this objective of informing the community that they should stay away from the building. So they're working on something. If their fix doesn't work out, then potentially, yes, we would come back with a request.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments for Annie?
No,
Peter, I think you're on mute. Or was this Peter talking? I couldn't hear you.
yeah, Peters can't become unmuted for some reason. It sounds like his microphone isn't working.
That's right, because he's not on mute, so maybe the mic just isn't working. Randy, did you have a question? Sorry, I just saw Peter's mouth moving and I was like,
No, I was saying, no, I don't have anything. I'm sure that you guys have thought through this very long and hard. And if this is, I mean, I appreciate the fact that you're cutting. It shows me you understand the situation and you're doing the best you can to deal with it. So thank you for that.
oh, sure. I know
Yeah,
you folks have, every department needs things, and some of those things they just don't have the luxury of waiting. So we want to be mindful of that. And as I said on the security vestibule, we're not saying these things aren't important, but now may not be the time to construction costs and materials costs are we imagine are going to be more expensive right now. They may be, one would hope they would cover it. We'll see.
Great. Okay, thank you. And yeah, I agree with Randy. I think the safety of our students is of paramount importance, and we need to go ahead with what you're proposing.
Oh, Peter's in the room. So what's
Peter,
happening?
you know what I was thinking too? If you want, try calling in on your phone.
Is that what
at
he's
least
doing?
we could hear you through the phone.
So Peter, in the waiting room, too.
So it looks like his IT department's trying to get him squared away.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And Linda, I'm sorry. Were you?
Yeah. Can you send the revised list to me by email? And
Yes.
we might consider, depending on how other things look with free cash. What was the lower item? Was about 40-something thousand.
The lowest one, the bus stop arms. That's where you might say this is our estimate right now is like 15,000. So
okay,
I'm gonna send.
Okay, so what we might do then is do that out of free cash, and then leave the balance of it on borrowing. So if you could send that to me. I know you usually like to put them in together so you have a little flexibility, but if you're really comfortable with those prices, I would separate them out for funding purposes anyways. And so do you, I know we sometimes like to not go into the details of security upgrades, but these sound like items that it's okay if you put the blinds on and discuss them and then do the arm and discuss it. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine, unless Chris Pip has any concerns about that. I'm going to send you this link to the update.
Could I get a copy too, Annie?
Yeah, I'll send it to everybody. You know what? I'm going to do it download.
Thank you.
And clarify this too. I'll do that right now.
So it's up to you. If you think they should be together just under security upgrades for security purposes, we'll just leave it like that. It's not that. Maybe we should, as I think about it. Let's not itemize our security.
Yeah, and I'll get to everybody on the call right now. I'm just making sure I have everybody. Okay.
Hear me now.
Yep. You're back. Are there already blinds at the elementary school?
Yeah.
So
not broken.
Paul, do you want motions for this stuff to be accepted?
Why don't we, if everyone's okay with it, why don't we hear what Scott has to say about all his projects, and then maybe we can either, do them all at once, or we could do the two separately after. But typically what we do, Randy, is we do it at the end.
Okay.
And
unless if you're letting Annie and go, she might want an answer before she goes.
Well, then we could do it that way to
No,
find,
it's fine. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to turn my camera off so I can shovel some salad and that's my phone. Sorry. You're not having a religious experience. That's my ringtone. But I'm here. So,
Okay.
so don't worry. You don't have to change things for me. I appreciate, that's fine. I
And we
appreciate-
usually wait until the end to do all the
Sure, no
motions and the
problem.
votes, but it's
Yeah,
not
don't worry.
mandatory. Peter, can you speak now or?
Fine tube, does anybody hear me?
Yes,
Oh, you can.
excellent.
Okay, my question was for Annie as to what does these rest stop arm cameras, where are they located and what are the angles that they are showing on these buses?
So my understanding, Peter, and I can provide you additional detail on this, but my understanding is bus stop arm. So when you pull up behind a school bus with its red lights flashings, and they typically have the stop sign that comes out, that stop arm that comes out on the side, that cameras, I believe the stop arm cameras are literally on the stop arms, which I'll find that out for you. And what it catches then is that they're placed in such a way that they would catch the license plate is what they want of the car, right? So that's the goal. Now, I can't tell you exactly how they do that, but I'm happy to get you like spec information or whatever they have. But that's the goal. They're situated so they can catch that license plate.
Didn't know whether or not if this is, highly used someplace other than the Northeast where, the salt, the ice, the snow, how those cameras are affected, whether if it does affect in the Northeast or are these mainly used, down south, Midwest, wherever, where there's lack of snow or little or no snow. Just questions as to, are these being used now in public schools in the Northeast?
That's a great.
Curious, how it does, and if it works, great. I'm just thinking about investing in something that they say, yeah, they really weren't thinking about the weather and the conditions that we have, like the winter that we've had this past year and potentially in the future.
Yeah, so it looks like that school districts in Massachusetts, New York, and Pennsylvania, in some states are actually required by law. So clearly, they acknowledge that road salt corrosion can erode some of those metal components, and that you can see things like stiffness in the arm mechanism or ice buildup, and it can affect wiring for lights on a stop arm. And even the stop arm itself. So there's probably more wear and tear, just like there is for our vehicles here. I'm sure that we pay much more in maintenance and body repair here for buses and everything, but they are used. I think that probably speaks to that either the good in terms of catching chronic offenders who are passing school buses outweighs the negative, I suppose.
Oh, I'm not arguing that. Now, that $15,000, is that per bus or is that for the fleet of buses that we have?
No, that would be for all the buses that we have. That's not per bus.
Yeah, and Peter, I don't know if this helps any or not, but if these cameras are anything like what we have on our vehicles, I've had it on my vehicles for years, and I never have any problem in the winter with any of them. It works fine. So.
Oh no, I have no problem against it. I agree to this completely. But you always think about where they tested, where they used, and then it's used in the Northeast, and then they find all the bugs up. But no, I have no problems with this at all.
So I know you guys have to move on to Scott. I'll say excellent question, and certainly what I can do, because I'll include Chris on the email when I send you folks this, when we're talking to the installers or to 5-Star, Chris can certainly bring that up and say, is there a way to position this that might mitigate some of that? Maybe there is. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and it might be a good idea, Annie, to ask about life expectancy and what kind of warranty they have on them. Then in case the question arises at town meeting.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay, thanks everyone for your comments. I guess Annie, you're welcome to stay on if you want, but otherwise you can zoom us off for a while and we'll vote at the very end on this. Okay, Scott, are you ready? We can just go in
Yeah.
sequential order, I guess. What we'll do is start with your 4 borrowing articles that you have.
Sure. Yeah, Chapter 90 supplement, $100,000 borrow. This just kind of let us, the DPW, continue doing road work of multiple things like line painting. That comes in a tune of about $60,000, and there'll be a balance to do other things, and I'll maybe line a couple culverts or just have a little bit of money when we have a failure in our system. We recently had 3 failures here in the last month, and we're really scratching at being able to make some repairs here. Just the operating budget just doesn't allow us to do, other road work. We're supposed to. You have to do some in-house work to supplement the Chapter 90. You're not supposed to solely survive off of it. If you do, they can reduce your Chapter 90 funding. So this is something that's somewhat important, that we have a little nest egg of money that we can do some work in house and not rely on the Chapter 90.
So that's a requirement, then, is what you're saying.
Well, kind of, yeah. You're supposed to be able to do some work in house of some sort, and in the prior years they gave you, there was different money coming in from the state, but some of that has dried up. So right now we don't have any kind of excess funding to do things.
Okay.
I know
So-
in the years past, like Linda has given me a little bit of ARPA money, this, that, and the other thing to be able to do this, but obviously now we don't have that.
All right, and that helps your comments, because I had someone approach me after one of our finance committee meetings, and they said, it'd help if we had a little more detail on exactly what these projects were. But I get what you're saying now. You don't know where a culvert's going to fail.
Yeah, and they're expensive to fix. We saved line 1 up a couple months ago. It was about, I think it was $15,000 to do. So I mean, just after, say, you paint in the springtime, whatever, the paint all the lines on the roads, that's eats up $60,000. There's not a real lot left. Last year we did not paint lines in town, and there's some areas that need to be painted. It won't meet the the road maintenance, brightness of the light. They have to be done. So there's just things that we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the balance of it, we constantly have failures that we need to fix, culverts, etc. And just, money is not easily come by here to be able to do these projects. Some of them are pretty expensive.
Okay, and so you're saying with a line painting, you have to have a certain brightness level?
Yeah, the lines have to meet a certain brightness through the MUTCD, or they don't meet the road standard. We have in the past, after car accidents, insurance companies and different police organizations reach out to us and ask for a record when the lines were painted. So they do have to meet a certain reflective criteria.
And what happens if you neglected to do that?
I'm not an attorney. I really can't answer that. There's some things you just have to do, line striping and etc. It's just, requirements of the MUTCD. And I'm not sure what would happen if you chose not to do it and somebody was in an accident or whatever.
Okay, for us, what's the acronym? MUTCD?
CD.
And what is that?
It's the manual on uniform traffic control devices.
Okay,
Yeah, and Paul, my guess is if we don't keep the roads up like we're supposed to, and there was an accident, it would be on the town potentially.
liability wise.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Randy. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, let's move on to the sewer asset management request.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, we had a grant, and Ty and Bond came in and did a asset management of the sewer department, both for horizontal and vertical aspects of it. And there is, millions of dollars of upgrades and repairs that need to be done. And obviously, once again, in our budget, we really don't have any kind of money to start tackling those problems. So this $300,000 ask would, let us start chipping away at some of the things that have been neglected and just kind of aged out and need to be repaired.
And when you say, just for the rest of us, horizontal and vertical, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, vertical being up and down would be the pump stations, and the horizontal would be the collection system, all the pipelining, the pipes.
Okay. Pipeline, and you said that total, the grand total is 3 million?
Oh, I don't know the exact number. There's millions of dollars of repairs that need to be done.
Okay.
Freeze more the vertical or the horizontal?
I would say more towards the vertical aspect, Peter. It's some of the stuff that I showed you before last town meeting. The pipeline itself, it's not in terrible shape, but the pump stations for sure need some upgrades along with the plant.
You?
And do you have like a list of these priorities? Like
Yeah.
what you're prioritizing?
Yeah, we do. The vendor gave us that, kind of something to go by, but there's some things that we kind of disagree on that we want to do, something else first, but things that we have known failures on, but we do have a target goal, I guess, of things that need to be done. And it's millions of dollars worth of
Oh, I
things
know.
that need to be fixed. So yeah.
I
but-
get it because I know in school it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have just sort of a framework so that if people ask,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
not,
we have it.
you're not just throwing out numbers. You can actually point to this needs to get done, this needs to get done, so that people know that there's actually a plan in place.
Yes, there is.
Right, the specifics.
Yeah, I can get that document to whoever, to Paul, if he wants to look at it, but it is available.
I would like it to, Scott, please.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, water asset management.
Yeah, kind of like the same thing. We're currently in the asset management. It's not 100% done. We have some draft documents that show vertical and horizontal assets that need to be worked on. And once again, it's in the millions of dollars worth of pipeline replacement, and undersized water main is a huge thing here in Hadley that we need to address, and it's, I don't know, about $1.5 million per mile. So like the entire length of South Maple Street, for instance, needs to be done. it's undersized. So just if you can picture to yourself, South Maple Street going from Bay Road to Mill Valley Road, it's a long ways, and that all needs to be replaced. And it's all over town, Rocky Hill Road, etc. And it's in the million. It's astronomical money, but we have nothing right now to even start chipping away at. So this is, same kind of request, just be able to, take something off the list potentially.
Some of the smaller
wa-
items.
Yeah, the water system, the plant and the pumps and stuff like that, they're in pretty good shape. The water asset management it's a lot of pipeline problem. Undersized pipeline, doesn't meet fire flow, things like that.
Good. Anyone else? Okay, and we got to
Yeah.
talk about Highway MS4.
Yeah, that's the stormwater management program. We have almost no money left in the account, and that's able to keep the town compliant with the DEP and the MS4 stormwater management program. So that would allow us to continuing all our permitting, sweeping of roads, cleaning of catch basins, and disposing of catch basin material. There was a big borrow quite some years ago, and it's all been depleted.
And you said street sweeping is included.
Yeah, street sweeping, catch basin cleaning, and there's like engineering tasks they have to look at, water outfalls and sample storm water, and go through a permitting process with the DEP.
Now, isn't this one we talked about last year? You said it's not a choice; it's mandatory.
Yeah, this is a state mandate. You'll be in violation of the Stormwater Management Act if you don't continue with it.
Okay.
Sander, would we have to farm this out?
What's that?
Do we have a sander anymore? Or are we gonna have to farm this out to somebody else for
I mean,
those
a
sanding?
sweeper, Peter?
Yes, sorry,
Yeah,
sweeper, yes.
Yeah, we don't have a sweeper. It gets contracted out.
Okay, thank you.
It just went out to bid again. We just received back the bid, so yeah.
Okay, thank
So
you.
we're current on that.
Anyone else? Okay. How about your water management grant? The match.
The Water Management Act. We applied for a grant to continue trying to design something for the Mount Warner wells. We were awarded a grant for $100,998, and the town cash match for that is $14,031. And that's just to continue on trying to do some work to get the Mount Warner wells and get a treatment facility designed.
How much are we getting, Scott?
The grant was $100,998.
$100,998.
Yep.
Okay.
And the cash match is $14,031.
Got it. Thank you.
Now, Scott, I know this didn't go through last year's. Is there any deadline? Like, would we jeopardize this entire grant if we don't act on this pretty soon?
So that has come and gone already, Paul. The in-house, people here decided to move forward with this, and it's currently funded out of our budget. So we'd just like to get that money back into our budget. But the project is moving forward. We had a deadline to meet, and with that failed at last town meeting, we would have lost $100,000. So we decided to move forward without the out of our budget. to fund this.
So Linda, then if this passes, then it'd be basically a journal entry to reimburse Scott's operating budget?
They're all set with the accountant. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay,
That's what we talked about, right, Scott? That we just put the monies.
Put the money back, correct?
okay. And you said Mount Warner Wells, and what was the other major
What was that?
project? You mentioned the Mount Warner Wells and also another. I just want to write this down.
Yeah, I mean it's a design to build a water treatment plant down there to get the wells back up online, and eventually, be able to take some pressure off the Callahan well if we can get Mount Warner back in the system.
Okay. How about the SCADA system?
Yeah, that's the electronics, the computer-based system that runs the water plant. We received a $30,000 grant for upgrades, and the balance of that project would be another 15,000. That's another one too that we would have lost the grant if we didn't move forward with. So currently the other $15,000 is coming out of our budget.
Okay, and again, I know you already told me this, but SCADA again is what
supervisory control acquisition data.
supervise. Okay. Acquisition data. What's the A?
I'd have to. It's been a long time since I took the test, Paul. I'd have to Google that. Authority.
Okay.
I believe.
And is this the one the system reports directly into the state?
No, it's the operating system for the water plant control. So basically, it's internet based, and you want it to be protected from any kind of hacking and etc. Because we're reading water tank levels back and forth from the water tanks, the internal runnings of the plant, pressure switches, etc. It's all computer based, and just it was a mandate from the DEP to meet higher security levels through computer software. So they had a grant opportunity out there up to $30,000, and we got that, but the project came in at with additional $14,000.
All right. Anybody have any questions on that SCADA system? And last but not least is your new one that we haven't seen before, the Callahan well number 3 redevelopment.
Yeah, so in beginning of the year, we have to have a company come out and check the wells and production of water and etc. and how much yield is in the wells. So one of the wells is currently not, the yield of the well isn't that good. So the veins are, the veins of sand, they're plugged with iron, manganese, etc. So there's a process that you can recondition the well and clean it, so you get better flow back to the well casing. So that's what we're looking to do. We have done this before in another well down there, but there's another one now that's just it's not producing a lot of water for us. I don't know if anyone knows, like geographically down there at the water plant, there's not bedrock really at all. So all these wells are just drilled into the sand, and it just starts, the pores of the well start plugging up because it's not in the rock. They drilled even for that bridge a long ways, and they couldn't even hit bedrock for that. So it's just kind of like a big bowl of sand down there, and it's just not. I mean, it's good quality water. Just there's no rock to protect the well. In theory, you want to try to get into rock.
And
They
this is
given the
for,
percentage as to the capacity of what the wells are doing now? Say if, 100,000 gallons a minute and we're at, 20%, that once this $45,000 is done, and I know it all depends on how severe and how plugged up it is. If it was done in the previous wells, how much was the water flow or yield increased after this test was done?
Yeah,
And I know every
it
well's going
gets
to
it
be
up to
different
a
because
pretty
of the
high-
application.
It gets it to a pretty high amount. It gets it back probably to like the 90th percentile, I'd say. So
Okay.
it is a pretty good process. It worked well on the other well.
Okay, thank you.
anyone else? Okay, I think that wraps up all our requests for the upcoming town meeting, and I guess now I would entertain a motion. I just want to have a
What about-
discussion.
What about ballistic vest replacement?
Oh, I'm sorry too. We didn't skip that intention. It's actually been withdrawn. We got a
Okay.
request from the police department, and so they withdrew that request from our capital request for this year.
Okay.
Before we vote, Paul, I want to ask Linda a question. How much money do we have in the water reserves, Linda?
Mhm.
Enough. Let me just check. 316,000.
Okay, so the water reserve questions, we're just taking money out of the existing water reserves account and putting it into a different account, correct?
The water reserves were,
Well,
there are three articles, three items coming out of water reserves. We just pay it right out of water reserves.
Okay, that's what I just wanted everybody to understand that. Yes, okay, thank you.
so that's approximately 75,000, right? Linda?
Right,
Yeah,
that's right. I've
So-
been adding to. Yep.
Okay. All right, then I will entertain if someone
Paul,
wants
if
to make.
it affects anybody's votes, can we, do you want to talk about, or maybe we should wait and see how the vote is, because, we're talking about redirecting return borrowings?
Yes, Linda and I have been talking quite extensively about these articles, and what we wanted to run by the rest of the committee to see what your thoughts are is we'd like to break these up probably three separate requests rather than one large one. The three that we're thinking of that would make the most sense is we'd like to bunch the first four proposals for the DPW. They're all borrowing articles into one request, and then the remaining three we would have as a second article or request, and then the last one would be a standalone for the school security upgrades. And how does everyone else feel about that?
that's
So
fine with me.
Three
Good
sections?
idea.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm,
So I know at the
And-
last town meeting, as we all know, the articles were shot down, but in actuality, if we had these broken out, like what we just proposed, 6 of those articles would have passed because they did get a majority vote. They didn't get the 2/3 majority needed for the borrowing articles, so therefore they all went down as a group.
So another thing that I want to insert here is we have a number of capital articles that have been used up and are going to be returned to the town. Most significantly is 215,000 coming back. That was borrowed for the senior center. One thing that we can do and should do with funds that are already borrowed is redirect them to other capital borrowing. So we can redirect it to cover a lot of those are general funds, so it would probably cover the school upgrades. And I'll have to check with town council as to whether they will cover any highway projects or whether they just have to be restricted to the school. So that would significantly decrease any further general fund borrowing. Also for the sewer and water borrowing, 300,000 each, We have about 71,000 we can redirect in sewer, so that would just mean borrowing 230,000. And water, we have about 12,000, not so much coming back there, but it will still decrease it somewhat. So we're applying our old borrowing to these, and I'll have a net amount for town meeting to show how much it's really going to cost us in any new borrowing.
Okay, so Linda, if that goes through as you're proposing, then that result in like two separate votes, or would the article just be broken down as to funding sources?
I think that we can. What we've done in the past is we've said we've specifically redirected. We mentioned the prior article that's being terminated and redirecting it towards a new article. When we're lumping them, when we have so many together, I'm not quite sure logistically how it's going to work out. I know we can do this. I don't know exactly how it's going to appear, but I don't think it affects the groupings. If it did, we might suggest further breaking down the borrowing by water, sewer, and general fund, just so it's not such a cumbersome article. I think it's worth it to reduce the borrowing to go through these steps to unlink the old and apply it here, so we have less new borrowing. If we're able to do it, let's see, our total borrowings here altogether are just a little over 900,000, and it looks like we could be applying about 300,000 and redirect it, maybe a little bit more. So I think we can do it still all as one.
And also, Linda, I've been a little rusty on this question here. I could ask is, would these redirections require a 2/3 vote also, or just a simple majority?
Because there still would be leftover borrowing, it would be 2/3. It's not going to fully cover it. That's a really good question, though, Paul. If we were going to do the school one separately and fully fund it out of the senior center money, which we could, does that mean that's a good question?
Okay.
I will ask council.
I know we used to do similar things when I was up in Greenfield. I just can't remember if it was a 2/3 vote or not.
Right. Okay.
I've got a question. Linda, you were saying it's 900,000. When it came to last year's meeting, like Paul was talking about, I think the total for borrowing was like 1.3, and there was no problem with everybody shutting it down. I think separating it might be better for having better chances for it to pass, other than trying to collect it all again. We don't want to happen to what happened last year when it comes to borrowing of these items that I believe should be attended to. So maybe if it was separating between the schools and for the water, I think there might be better chances of it. If some don't pass, it's better than none of them passing, no different than last year.
Well,
everybody think about
and
that.
that's up to the committee, Paul.
Well, how do you
break it
feel,
out more?
Christine
It's just fine.
and Randy?
Well, I think the schools separately are fine. The water reserves separately are fine. The DPW borrowing stuff, I mean, it makes sense to me that we, as Peter just said, we need it all, but are there people that are going to say, well, I agree that we need the sewer taken care of, but not the water? I hate to get into that because it picks the town apart in a way that I don't think is appropriate. But I don't know the answer. I mean, to me, I would say what you suggested earlier, Paul, have the 4 DPW borrowing article items as one, the schools as one, and the water reserves as another. I think that makes sense, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, and I think it would help as far as time management too at the town meeting.
I think that'll be good.
Time management is a concern, but getting the town to function properly is a bigger concern for me.
Absolutely. But I know sometimes when you break it down too much, that was what criticism that we faced in the past, that they were broken down. Then we lumped them together last year. And then we were criticized for doing that. So I think this is kind of compromise, a meet me halfway kind of a deal.
Well, I mean, again, I'm fine with the 3 separate divisions. I don't know what everybody else thinks.
I'm fine with that.
Christine?
Yep.
Okay. Well, then I will entertain a motion that we approve the first 4 borrowing articles.
So moved.
Oh, second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a roll call vote. Randy Iser,
Yes.
Christine Pipchinsky,
yes,
Peter Matusko,
Yes.
Paul McCretsky, yes. So that passes. Now I will entertain a motion for the 3 water reserve articles.
So moved.
second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. A roll call vote. Randy Iser,
Yes.
Christine Pipchinsky,
yes,
Peter Matusko,
Yes.
Paul McCretsky, yes. And finally, we have the school security upgrades. I'll entertain a motion.
so moved,
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a roll call vote. Randy Iser,
Yes.
Christine Pipchinsky,
yes,
Peter Matusko,
Yes.
Paul McCretsky, yes. Okay, that concludes our capital request for the upcoming meeting. Any other business anyone wants to discuss? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
second,
A motion's been made and seconded. I'll call for a roll call vote. Randy Iser,
Yes.
Christine Pipchinsky,
yeah.
Peter Matusko,
Yes.
Paul McCretsky, yes. The meeting is adjourned.